Hello and welcome to Sectors Up Close. I'm Elena Casas. Our focus today is on investing in the space industry, and our guest is Ross Gerber, the President and CEO of Gerber Kawasaki. According to a report by Morgan Stanley, revenues from the global space industry will rise to $1 trillion by 2040. Bank of America thinks it may be 3 times that amount. Morgan Stanley estimates between 50 and 70% of that total will be from low-orbit internet satellites. The rest of the market will be space tourism and point-to-point long-haul travel. This has sparked a surge in investor interest in an industry which is dominated by state actors and private companies. Of the 3 best-known space companies, only Virgin Galactic is listed. SpaceX and Blue Origin are controlled by their billionaire owners, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. But there are ways for investors to get involved. There are a number of exchange-traded funds, including a more established one by Spider and one recently launched by Cathie Wood's ARK Investment. But these and others have been accused of holding very few companies with any real direct exposure to the sector. The ARK Fund includes JD.com and Netflix, for example. Well, for more on this, let's ask Gerber Kawasaki's Ross Gerber. Ross, hello. Investing in space may sound really cool, but isn't it better to leave this to billionaires and governments who have money to burn?
Absolutely. And I think it's almost silly to think space, flight and discovery should be something that you focus on for profit, because essentially this is about science and discovery. And that's why states, the United States through NASA, have always funded space travel, because it's for the good of society a lot more than for profit.
What about the burst in popularity recently then of these space-related funds and ETFs, many of which obviously don't actually hold that many companies with direct exposure to the space industry? Are they just cashing in on a trend?
Yeah, I mean, when you sell ETFs in investment products and you're not a financial advisor like myself, your goal is to get media and interest in a topic so that you can gather assets and charge a fee. There's no question that the space travel trend or space investing trend is a marketing ploy that works. But I think from a profit perspective, once again, I don't think you invest in space to make money. I think you invest in space to discover.
Is there anything in this sector that you would recommend as an investment then, perhaps satellite companies?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you talk about investing in space, we've owned a position in Northrop for a very long time. They're one of the leaders in the space business, but it's also a military and defense company. They're very involved with space flight and travel, and I think it's a good company for long-term investors who want a defense stock, but it's really a defense stock, but it's space. Same with Lockheed Martin, which just reported a good quarter. When you look at actual space companies, the ones that come most to mind is SpaceX, which is an incredibly popular private investment. But once again, these are not profitable companies that are run. Probably the worst of the bunch is the Virgin Galactic, which actually doesn't even go to space and is trying to have a tourism business, but it's not really a safe plane that hasn't even proven it can fly. So I think when you think about space and you think about where can I invest, I think you have to look on a broader level of what do these companies do as well as space.
Thanks so much for that. That was Ross Gerber, the President and CEO of Gerber Kawasaki. Well, before we go, here are some of the top stories in the space sector. China's southern spaceport of Wenchang will build a $3 billion supercomputing centre by the end of this year to analyse data obtained from space. State media report the centre will provide big data services for industries, including the aerospace and marine sectors, starting in 2022. In the next decade, China envisions massive constellations of commercial satellites, offering services ranging from high-speed internet for aircraft to tracking coal shipments. To meet the demand for satellite launches, China will have to build bigger rockets that can carry more satellites, or build more launch sites, or both. Elon Musk beat out Jeff Bezos in the battle of the billionaires for a big NASA contract. The US space agency awarded Musk's SpaceX a $2.9 billion contract to build a lunar lander. SpaceX bid alone, while Blue Origin teamed up with Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. NASA's lander is expected to carry 2 American astronauts to the moon's surface as early as 2024. And finally, in a moment reminiscent of the Wright brothers, NASA released video from Mars of the first ever powered and controlled flight over another planet.
Well, our team has been working over 6 years, some even longer, towards that dream of experimenting the first ever flight at Mars. And this morning, our dream came true. If we can play this video, this is taken from Perseverance rover. Video of our dream, just beautiful. Taking off, goosebumps. It looks just the way we had tested in our test chamber, space simulator chamber here. Absolutely beautiful flight. I don't think I can ever stop watching it over and over again. And lands.
Well, that's a small flight for that little helicopter, but a big step for NASA's scientists. And that's your roundup of the space sector. I'm Elena Casas, and this is Reuters.